Hey, gang, it's Jeff Brand. It's the athlete mindset coach here. And as we are, hey, there's Coach Matt Doyle.
What's up, man?
All right. Hey, Coach, we got a lot of our athletes coming on board tonight. So, first of all, thanks for being here.
You know it.
Hey, listen, should I get my black knit hat on too? Maybe we can be twins in this chat we're going to have tonight.
You might have to. I don't know. Whatever you're comfortable with, really.
Look at you in those glasses. I don't think I've seen you in glasses too often.
I just wear them when I stare at my screen. they're not for reading. It's just, for the screen.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to get rolling here. We got, it looks like so far about 23 people, 25, 26 and counting. Hopefully we're going to have a big crowd here tonight. Love the interaction. So if you have a chance to say hello to Coach Matt Doyle, please do. Say hello to me too. I'm always open to that. Give some comments, throw some questions in there. Hopefully we can get to them as well. All right. Without wasting any more time, ladies and gentlemen, coaches, athletes, parents, whoever here is with us live on Instagram tonight, I want to introduce to you someone very, very special in my life. I'm grateful for the connection that we have. This is Coach Matt Doyle. He is the hockey director at the York Ice Hockey Club in York, Pennsylvania, and he also coaches a couple of the teams, Bantam AA team and Midget AA team as well. And please, Coach, you correct me with all the hockey terminology if I'm not getting that right. I know I've gotten used to it the last few years being associated and being around your or should I say our hockey program. I feel comfortable saying that now. So welcome, Matt. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, here, we're just going to jump into it. We're going to get into some content here, and hopefully someone can take a nugget out of this tonight and run with it. And if you can take a nugget out of this conversation and it can help you improve your performance, whether it be hockey or any other sport. I'm hoping there's names flying through here tonight so far. Hopefully there's athletes on here and coaches or parents of athletes that from other sports. You and I definitely get down in the nitty gritty with hockey, but anyone can benefit from this conversation. So first and foremost, mindset, mental training, mental strength and conditioning. What kind of role do you think that plays in sports and athletics and with athletes, especially more so nowadays, more so now than ever? Yeah,
I think it's huge, man. I think, in any general program, you're going to get a fair amount of the physical side of training, whether it's ice hockey and you're on the ice and, pretty similar practice times pretty much across the board with all other clubs. I think we do things a lot different actually here, but generally speaking, I think most clubs or most team sports are going to have the same amount of physical training. But when it comes to your mindset or your mindset training, if you will, I think it's a really big deal, and it's really what ends up separating those athletes or teams from the average, basically. And quite honestly, that's what we try and combat. We try and combat the complacency, the average, the kind of good enough mentality. We just try and stay away from it, and we put some sense, we put some practice, we put some reasoning behind it, as far as training our mindset and really just how we go about all of the physical things that we do, and I think that's what sets us apart a little bit.
I always say, and this is a common expression, nothing that I created, but mindset separates the best from the rest, right? I mean, if we're two physically capable athletes going at it, battling it, and during the course of a game, the stronger your mindset, the more you're going to be able to overcome, the more resiliency, right? The more you're going to be able to take on. So with that being said, what do you think, what do you think the common struggles, common problems, common challenges, common obstacles What do you think athletes now that you work with, that we work with, what do you think they need help with the most regarding their mental game?
That's a great question, and I think it's a pretty simple answer, to be honest with you. I think it's three things. One is going to be, which I think is probably the most important. When you talk about the mental side of whether it's the training or just how you go about the physical action of playing a sport or training or whatever it is, I think the number one thing is understanding your own abilities and being confident in those own abilities. So if I am mentally prepared to do what I am physically prepared to do, and I can kind of connect those pieces right there, it's seamless. And I don't want to say it becomes easy, because it's not easy, right? It's obviously not. But like, if I can kind of control in my own head, okay, these are the ABCs of my performance, if you will. I know that I want to accomplish this, or go about my game, or go about my practice, or go about my my own individual training. I know I want to go about it this way every time, right? I'm locked in mentally, and I'm prepared physically as well. I think that's almost the number one thing. The second thing that I really think that it helps with is the emotional side of things. So understanding understanding the highs and lows, right? So like, I had a good coach that he said, we always kind of want to be even keel, not too high, not too low. I think that is massively valuable, especially in a very emotional sport like ice hockey. It gets very emotional out there. It's the only sport that actually allows fighting. You know what I mean? At least at the professional level. So I think it is very emotional, and it's very tough to handle and challenge those emotions in the moment. So I think just kind of having, ownership or control of that mental game, or the way you go about the emotions and the highs and lows of a game is extremely, extremely important and valuable. And then the third thing, which kind of goes with the emotional side of it, but it's like, when everything hits the fan, when everything fails, and when there is just that absolute adversity, whether it's the officials, they're not calling the game in your favor. We see that a lot, right? Whether it's you break a stick in a game, right? You get an injury, and whether you're hurt and it's just kind of uncomfortable the rest of the game, or whether it is legitimately an injury and you're out for weeks or months at a time. Anytime anything bad happens to you as an individual, or to your team, I think it's an amazing opportunity for a response. And again, it's not easy. It's very hard to control that response. However, if you have a little bit more of a grasp on the mental side of your own performance and your own preparation, it's going to set you apart in how you handle that, the emotions. Again, whether it's the highs or whether it's the lows of adversity, individually, physically, mentally, emotionally, or as a team, and those same regards.
Okay. So what I'm getting from you is that, mindset, what it means mostly to you then would be being able to handle adversity.
That's right. Not only handle adversity, but also just, the flip side of it, being that much more confident in your own ability, your own preparation, and things like that. It's just, it really is handling the response in my mind.
And that's part of being I'm going to piggyback on what you just said too, about the poise and composure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
Being cool, calm, and collected.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Being the athlete that can control their breath. That's big in a lot of my teachings. Yeah. Being able to control your breathing. God, nothing like that athlete that has ice water running through their veins, that can handle any situation at any time.
That's right.
But not only that, that's special times, right? You're also talking about the everyday grind,
man.
Right? Or you just get mentally tougher and tougher going through your routine, that kind of thing.
That's right.
I guess I'll share with you some of the common struggles and obstacles that I see. And not only, this is just across the board with athletes, and this can be at any level. I know mostly we work with, high school level athletes, some, middle school to high school, yep. But some of the collegiate athletes I've worked with, and even when you get up into the pros, one, you're dealing with athletes. I think a common struggle is overthinking. I think a lot of times there is paralysis by analysis, and you talk about affecting your performance when you're thinking too much. You do get paralyzed a lot, so you don't let your natural play take over. You know, your intuition, your instinct, that kind of thing. So overthinking, I think, is one big struggle. Two, negative self-talk, huge. Self-doubt, I think, is big. You know, when athletes think that they're not good enough, that they don't measure up, that they don't have what it takes to compete, I think they're hurting.
Yeah.
The fear of making mistakes, the fear of failure, I think that's big. Some athletes are easily distracted. They have trouble focusing. I think that's big. And then sometimes you get the athlete that at certain times during the season, things just don't feel right. You know, they can't explain it. They can't put their finger on it. Just something seems off. You know, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a daily mindset routine will benefit all of these athletes and kind of conquer. You want to say conquer those struggles, but we're trying to minimize those struggles, right? They don't go, in my opinion, you can't eliminate them. You know, we can minimize them, but it's natural for them to pop up in different forms from time to time. So with that being said, talking about struggles and all the different things, I want you to share with our audience the culture, which I love so much, the culture that you have created with the York Ice Hockey Club, which I'm going to say right now, and I've said it and I've put it out there, it's second to none. I'm very happy and proud to be a part of it, but you're a leader. And I just want you to talk about the culture you created and some of the bullet points, some of the important things that you like to emphasize and hammer into the athletes that we work with.
Yeah, we definitely do that. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You just touch on so many little negative things that we try to combat, and we try to put the positive spin on it. One just thing that I constantly try to say to our guys is clarity breeds that confidence, right? So when you have that self-doubt, when you have that you know, that mid-season grind and struggle and everything like that, like, you know, the more clear you can be on your daily process, on your routine, on what is expected of you by your coach or by your parents, or what you expect out of yourself, the more clear that you can be with that, I just think it's only going to set you up for more, more confident behavior. And I think that's huge when you go back to just playing with, playing without overthinking too much. I had to touch on that. And then how that relates to the culture, like our culture is very simple. I think it's simply, we want to be the guys that are working hard for fun. That's it. We want to enjoy that process, and that's a grind, and it's very hard to do. And there's gonna be their highs and lows and bumps and bruises and all that kind of stuff. But like, we want to be the team or the club, and we want to have the culture that can take a step back and say, like, look, like, things didn't go our way, we're right back to the process, because we believe in the process. We know that it's going to work, and we know that, as cliche as it sounds, if we trust that process and if we're confident and clear in that process, it's going to lead us into the right direction, no matter how hard that is. So man, it really does sound so simple to say, enjoy your development or work hard for fun, but that really is what it that is what it is. The big side of it from the administrative standpoint, or the leadership side of it, where you play a huge role, where I try to play a huge role, where guys like Gary Suchi and our president Clayton Edwards, like those guys, man, just like the supporting staff, like the big part of it is that we provide the tools for guys to feel comfortable in that environment of working hard for fun. Getting right back to the process. So, I think a lot of clubs, or a lot of programs, or a lot of organizations, I just don't know if they can back it up, right? I don't know if they have the actual physical or mental tools to be able to back that stuff up. I can say we want to be a hard team to play against, and we want to be physical, and we want to be, winning races to pucks and winning all of our battles and all that kind of stuff. But if we're not preparing for that in the gym, I don't know if that's going to happen. It's a coin toss at that point. If we are talking about the mental struggles of, hey, you got punched in the face, we got to get right back up. We want to, you had a bad shift, it's the next shift mentality. If we don't talk about that stuff, and if we don't have clarity in how to actually combat the struggles of that, again, it's right back to rolling the dice there. And it's about the preparation of what administratively we can do there. The same thing with talk about your gameplay, right? I don't believe in, if I use a defensive scenario, we're defending on our own end, and we need to transition from playing defense on our own end into playing offense, and we want to get to the other half. I don't believe in guessing in that. We can't guess our way to the other goal line. We got to have a plan. And, at certain ages, it becomes a little bit more fundamental, and that's 110% appropriate. But as we progress, kids, like players, they only know what they know. They know what they're taught. So if we can continue to, again, provide clarity and provide those tools for them to be confident and comfortable in the game plan, if you will, I mean, that's it. We can't guess our way from goal line to goal line and back again. We got to have a plan. We got to have an idea of what it's going to look like. And then, and then there's got to be accountability involved, but that's a whole nother side of it. But again,
that's part of the culture.
That's part of the culture. That's part of the culture, man. But it really does start with kind of administratively providing the tools and then having the clarity to use those tools effectively and consistently. And when you talk about consistency, that is where the accountability comes into play. And that's what I believe our culture is. I really do.
No, there's no doubt about it. The consistency's there. The message is clear. I think when you're setting, you have to set parameters, right? You have to be clear with expectations.
Yep.
So the kids know what the process is. So there's no questions, right? They got to feel comfortable coming to us, talking to us. The cliche of an open door policy, that we want to take care of them, right? We take care of them first and foremost as human beings, and then create better athletes and then better ice hockey players. It's kind of that order,
That is.
And I think if there are parents on here, if there's coaches on this live right now, first and foremost, character development, leadership development, just doing the right thing, teaching that, doing the right thing, and constant. I mean, the kids got to get tired sometimes of the message, right?
Totally.
We're redundant because the universe gives us so many opportunities to practice great behavior, right? And doing the right thing.
Yep.
So with that being said, we do it in the strength room. I've just put out a post, I guess it was just yesterday or so, celebrating my 34th year in the strength and conditioning industry.
Big time. Yep. Big time, baby.
Thank you. And to be a part of this program and to have our connection that you and I have is at this time in my career, I'm reaching like another pinnacle. And to be able to do what I love to do and do it with York Devils is really, again, that's something else that's second to none. But as far as I'm still around this culture idea, right?
Yep.
So on ice, expectations are clear. The type of players we want, the type of attitude we want, the type of behavior that we want. I think all programs should kind of run that kind of ship.
Yeah.
I'm just biased, right? But when it comes to the strength training program, love what we've done together. Love the program design. I love that we do, off season and preseason and in season and postseason and teaching the kids the differences and philosophy.
It's
and
sick,
how much fun is it to get down and dirty with details and have kids that are open to receiving that, right?
Yes.
Some of this gets over their head, right?
Yeah.
And we bring it to a level that they want to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's big. That's culture, right?
Yeah.
That they're willing to say, we want to know not only what we're doing, but why we're doing it, right? We talk about getting better every day, every rep, every set, every shift, every period, every game, like you can't say that enough. You say it 100 times, right? And that's what we do. Yep. But I think what's special is what you've allowed me to do with this program is to begin to introduce how important mental skills training is. I think if you ask athletes now, if you even ask some coaches now and parents, when I talk mindset, sometimes people look at me like I got three heads, you know? I know some people already think I'm a sandwich short of a picnic a little bit because I always have that crazed dog look in my eyes, but that's just the passion, right? That I'd like to bring and the excitement and enthusiasm. But to be able to introduce this to the kids, and it starts with basics. Like when we talk about culture, you've already laid it down a little bit with starting with the morning routine, 5 things that we're doing. We've introduced journaling to the kids. It's something simple as making your bed right away, getting water in your system right away, getting sleep, recovery, nutrition, all those kind of things. We start to just plant seeds. I think because not only are we coaches, we're teachers.
Yes, right.
We're planting seeds. We're mentors, and that's the culture. But to be able to introduce my training program, my mental skills training program, the power of mental reps, to your club, I'd love to get an idea since we're together now. I've done it in workshop form. We do it on a daily basis. Just talking and casual conversation with the players. Some players one-on-one coaching takes place. What do you think the difference is in this program of being able to allow me to share my my mental skills training program?
Well, I think so I have a quote here that I wrote down a couple months ago that I think is really maybe kind of sums it up a little bit. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Okay, so you could maybe environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Okay. So, and you could say, you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's kind of that type of thing. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying administratively, like, are we providing the tools so that the players can take advantage of those tools so that they can really absorb the content? Like, content is a drug, right? You will absorb you'll absorb what you absorb, right? What you pay attention to, whether it's on social media, the people that you're talking to, listening to, and all that kind of stuff. So, as it relates to, kind of, maybe our players recognizing like, oh, this guy, Coach Jeff, he mental performance. What is this all about? Whether it's a player or a parent, I think what makes even that possible is just that starting point, the starting point of the culture. So if the starting point of the culture is, hey, we want to enjoy our development, we want to work hard for fun. If that becomes just the main kind of blanket idea, then we get to, again, explore those tools. So, we have this gym. Okay. We have a hired strength coach. This is all athlete specific stuff. Not only is it athlete specific, but it's also, it's periodized, right? So it's like we're doing different stuff in the summertime than we are doing in season, and then postseason it looks a little bit different than 6 weeks prior to the season, all that kind of stuff, right? So when you have those tools and when you have those kind of blocks in place of just as far as how we go about things, I think that all of a sudden it evolves into the next step of it with the mental performance and how, I don't want to say forgotten, how unrecognized that it is. I do think it is becoming more recognized, and like we as a club are incredibly fortunate that we have yourself at our disposal, not only for the physical side of things and what we do in the gym, but again, the mental side of things. So I just think that we're providing those tools and we're creating that environment that it's just becoming more accessible. And like I said a couple minutes ago, like these players only know what they know. And if you start it at a younger age, I remember coaching a Squirt A team, and they're going to be Bantams next year. They're going to be U13, U14 players. All they know is they show up to the rink and they do the right thing. That's all they know. That's like they don't know what slacking off. Like they don't understand that. They've never been exposed to that type of behavior or environment. So when you keep adding in the tools and going back to the mental side of things, you keep adding that in, man, and players want to take advantage of it for the right reasons because it's all they know and it's because they recognize the kind of position that they're in. pretty it gets pretty real and pretty dangerous pretty fast. So it's a big deal, I think.
I think a big part of what you're saying is planting the seeds. Again, the term, the expression that I used just a short while ago, but helping these kids create a daily routine.
Yeah.
Right. And the importance of what that daily routine is. Like, there's a purpose. Whenever we're teaching stuff, we always talk about, and I know I always address, be purposeful, have intention. It's part of goes back to what you're talking about earlier about we have a plan. There's a plan for everything, right?
That's right.
Things don't happen by happenstance, right?
No.
We're teaching preparation. We're teaching planning, and that's a big part of it. And to be able to take this a step further with not only the general mindset principles, but when we get down and dirty with being able to talk about meditation and creating affirmations and declarations and personal journaling, and visualization and imagery, right? We're constantly, we're really planting seeds for that, which is big time.
Yeah.
It's just some really awesome stuff.
Jeff, Coach, let me ask you a quick question. So I'm not unrealistic. I know that it's tough for these players who are, like you said, high school age or even younger, that are starting to get these messages, which is pretty cool. But I'm not unrealistic. I know that it's really tough to do. It's really tough for a kid to be disciplined and be able to say, like, yep, I'm gonna have a morning routine. I'm gonna have a PM routine, and every time I show up to the rink, I'm gonna be dialed in. I'm not unrealistic. I know that is a massive challenge. Even with myself, thinking back to when I played, I had some of those routines, but could I have been better? Could I have been more disciplined? Absolutely. There's players playing at the highest level right now that know that they have more to give on the mental side of their preparation or performance. So I don't know if you can just answer really quickly, like, what do you think is a simple and effective step for recognizing that there's more to give and recognizing that, I can consistently make A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z changes that over time will provide a big big impact to how I go about the way I approach the game or any task mentally.
I think first it comes with, do you believe that mindset plays a role in your performance?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question I ask any athlete that I work with. Mm-hmm. And then I'll ask them, what percentage of your game, whatever sport you're playing, what percentage of it do you think is mental? And how many times do we hear different numbers? 50%, 75%. It's 90% mental. We hear all kinds of numbers, right?
Yeah.
And then the next question after that, and this is hits home, I say, well, if you think it's 75%, are you practicing that?
Yeah, right.
Are you putting in that much preparation for your mental game? And then they'll look at me and they'll go like, no.
Yeah, right.
And so that's when it kind of, the light bulb goes on. And then they say, well, all right, well, I do everything physically. I'm in the weight room. I have, it's a structured strength training program and strength conditioning program. And that has a big plan, a big picture plan, macro cycle to the micro cycles, right? Yep. So I say, well, if you want to get better and reach potential, exceed potential, then if you believe that about the mental side of things, then I have a way that I can help you. I have a way that we can practice and start creating that routine. And it comes with the daily mindset routine. And I'll be quickly redundant. That's when we start teaching journaling. There's purpose and intention behind the journaling. It's just not grabbing a book and say, here, pen, and just write, right? There's direction. There's purpose. This is what I want you to record in that journal to start with. This is the next step, the next step, the next step. So what we're trying to create then on the daily basis is we're trying to create and train the brain and train, like, this is going to get deeper, train the subconscious at a subconscious level for you to be focused,
That's huge,
and be able
man.
to think more positively, right? Yep. So it comes with journaling. It comes with meditation. I mean, when someone meditates, first of all, there's many myths and misconceptions about meditation.
Yeah.
You can take a minute and control your breath, and that could be meditating, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an hour long. It doesn't have to be legs crossed and you're humming, right? Or, those kind of things. So it can just be small steps. That's what I like to introduce, guided meditations that help us with our self-talk, would help us with visualization and imagery, because this is it. The words you say out loud, the words you think to yourself, the thoughts you think to yourself, the words that you put down on paper, all of that has energy. So that's my biggest message. And once we can control that, which we can, it can be taught, then they're going to go in the right direction of how to control their thoughts. Because I'll leave you with this without getting too much deeper. I'll leave you with this. This is the mindset formula. Right? So thoughts dictate your feelings. Feelings dictate your actions. Your actions dictate your results. So thoughts, feelings, actions, results.
That's it.
If I'm a negative thinker, right? If I'm a negative thinker, or I'm constantly telling myself I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I have low self-esteem, low self-value, those kind of things. And a lot of times that's part of the struggle, right? When you don't believe in yourself, those kind of things. That leads to bad feelings. You don't feel good about yourself, which means I'm either going to take no action or I'm going to take the wrong action. Right. And if you take the wrong action, chances are the results you experience are going to be undesirable.
That's right.
So you flip the coin and you start thinking more positive thoughts. You have better, you feel good, you feel better about yourself. You have the courage and the confidence to take action, whether it be wrong or right. You're going to learn from it regardless.
That's
but
right.
You take action, right?
Yep.
And then you get the results that you want to experience in life.
Well said.
That's the formula. Now, do negative things happen to positive thinkers? Sure. Yep. But the thing about mindset is what you talked about earlier is the resiliency. So you can't go wrong by really starting to train yourself to be more positive and how to handle that adversity, because you'll handle the adversity much more efficiently with a positive mindset than a negative mindset. So hopefully we're not losing the crowd here. I know we can go off on tangents a little bit. We can make mindset coaching and mental skills training. I can make it very simple. At the same time, it can be a little complex, but that's what outlines are for. That's what bullet points are for. That's what step-by-step approach is for. Yep. And that's why setting these parameters that we do to help them with. So listen, if there are any coaches out there that think mental skills training is something that you want to introduce to your team, look no further. Right? Reach out. You know how to send me a message on Instagram. You can also touch base with Coach Doyle, Coach Matt, and get some more feedback from him. If you're an athlete that you've always wanted to create a mental skills training program, but you didn't know how, reach out, right? Let's have a 10-minute conversation and let's see if we can get you started in the right direction. That would be my advice to you. And that's what we do, right?
Yep, so that is.
I don't know how you want to end this, Coach, but we could go on forever, right?
Yeah.
That's the heart and mind of this, right? That's why one of my taglines is the heart and mind of success, right? This is in us. We try to instill it in others, and we just I don't know. It's just an energy. It's contagious, and I think because of that. That's why you have the program that you have, that I'm honored to be a part of. And you should be super proud that you've created this culture with the York Devils.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll just end it with saying, I've been on kind of both sides of the fence there, and I know from my experience, it's a lot better. It's a lot more enjoyable. It's a lot better when you go all in on something, and when you have those tools at your disposal, when that environment is that invisible hand that's shaping you, and you're in that environment. Like you said, it's contagious. It should be contagious. From experience, I know it's a lot better to do it all in and taking full advantage of those tools and of your environment than it is to kind of be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's just you're just not going to get the you're not going to get the full experience there. And when you take advantage of those tools and take advantage of your environment, like you said, it becomes really contagious, and it leaves you wanting more. And that's what the Mountain of Excellence is all about, my man.
We didn't even get into that. That's
right.
For another night, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So you got to keep climbing every day, whether you fall down or it's one step forward. Like, you have to keep climbing, and when you have the tools and it's contagious, you'll climb that mountain a little bit easier, for sure.
Well, you said the key word, and we'll end it with this. That's why, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's what we encourage, right? We want players that buy into the idea of getting better every day. And that's why our mantra is YD, all in.
That's right. That's it, my man. You know it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight here on this Instagram Live. And with that being said, Coach Matt, thank you. We'll talk soon. And everybody, have a great night. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Coach.
Good night.